Hello. I'll do what you did in the other video. Today we are going to be talking about two movies that we saw in theaters. We were out of town for a little bit, so we're back. So we're going to start getting into the swing of things and making these more weekly. But yeah, so today we're going to be talking about these movies.
The first movie we're gonna talk about is The Rivals of Amziah King, not Amaziah, Amziah King, starring Matthew McConaughey, Kurt Russell, Tony Revolori, and a bunch of other character actors you've seen in a number of other projects who come and go throughout the movie, plus the debut of one actress who plays that. This is not a spoiler, but the former foster daughter of Matthew McConaughey's character, Amziah King. So what did you think of the movie?
Yeah. I really liked it. I thought that it was really emotional. It was really kind of beautiful with the music. I thought all the music was really amazing, especially the first scene. When you're first, getting introduced to the characters. I really like that scene. At the diner. Or like the drive-in diner kind of thing. But I thought that it was very interesting that they used bees and they actually used bees. Like one of the cool scenes in the movie where Matthew McConaughey has all these bees. Amziah has all these bees down his arm because he has the queen bee, and they will protect the queen bee no matter what. And I thought that scene was really cool because he was talking about it. I think on Jimmy Fallon or one of these shows about how he actually did it, and about how
He was allergic, wasn't he?
yeah, but he didn't get stung not once. That's what he said.
That's not divine intervention. I don't know what it is. I would be terrified of. I'm normally just terrified of bees, not because I think they will sting me necessarily, but just because they're unpredictable. But it seems like most of them are pretty docile. And I don't know how much was like stitching the bees into the shot or sequence versus they were actually handling real live bees, or maybe it was a combination of both. But either way, and the movie was very, very just heartfelt and genuine, and it seemed to focus on. I want to say a part of America, but it's really just about people
Yeah.
and
It's beautiful.
community, and it's about like people not having
Not
much.
always needing to be also related by blood, by the way. I
Yeah,
just wanted to jump that in there. Like what you said about the daughter. She is adopted. He adopted her, just took her in for a little bit, but after his wife passed away, he could no longer really take care of her. Or maybe didn't feel like it. They didn't really specify too much on what happened there. But she comes back to him and she wants to work for him, and she takes everything he does very, very seriously, and you see their bond, and like it's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
it takes a turn halfway through the movie, which I don't want to spoil it for those of you who hadn't seen it. And at
I don't
first,
really
I
do
was like,
spoilers though, right? Like we spoiled the Odyssey and Spider Man, so we might as well just go all the
yeah,
way.
but I
But
guess
maybe we're trying to promote this because not a lot of people
right.
probably are
I feel
going to
like
see
everyone's
it.
seen the Odyssey or Spider Man, but
Yeah.
so just for the sake of saving that, the movie takes a turn halfway through, and it focuses more on God, what is the girl's name? The Native American girl.
I
Her
do not
character's name.
know.
Well, it focuses more on her character, and at
Yeah,
first that
I
was a
don't
little
know.
jarring,
We're gonna have to
but I
look that
think
up.
yeah, we really should. We got to come prepared. But
Yeah.
at first it was a little jarring, and then slowly but surely I started to make my peace with it, and it's a very unpredictable movie, but I feel like every part of it is um expressing more about this way of life and this community and those who pretend to support and love their community versus those who genuinely do. And I think it just has a lot to say about how the working class works today in kind of these forgotten areas of the country, the United States, but also the world. Like, people don't have much, but they do have each other, and they have music, and they have food, and that gives them more joy and contentment than anyone with millions of dollars or factories or stores will ever feel. And there's this great line toward the end of the movie where it brings the title into focus, and the girl, the girl in the movie, Native American girl, says, "I'm going to just be, more committed and more loyal and have more integrity, such and such." I'm butchering the quote, and that's how I'll outlive all of my rivals. And it almost felt like a parable about um, steadfastness and commitment to people who you may not always feel the most comfortable around, or may not always be the most deserving because they have stuff going on in their own lives. But if you show up for them, they'll show up for you. And I just thought
Yeah.
that message was very powerful. So, not a perfect movie by any means, but when it works, I think it really, really works.
Especially in a time like this, it really hits. It really hits
Mm-hmm.
to just know that there are people around you that love you and that care about you, and you can make the most insane thing that happened to you into something like so little in a way. Like, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that happened in this film that, like, Matthew McConaughey's character kind of just learn to laugh off, or just be there for people, or let it roll off and enjoy, the time that they had together. And so I feel like that all brings it all around. And right now, it really does mean something
And
right
it's
now.
almost like a plea for people to come together in faith and understanding and bond in a way that no corporate entity or any, I guess, big city, I don't know if it's knocking necessarily the city life, could ever really understand. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like there is a certain sanctity and a certain sense of honor that comes with the character's commitment to one another and wanting to set things right and just wanting to do right in general, and give back. And those who seek to take that from them and destroy what they have for their own personal gain, and the consequences that follow on both sides from that. So yeah, I really liked the movie. I have some issues with it. I think there's a few pacing issues. There's some choices that, without spoiling it, I don't love. It
Yeah.
almost felt like,
Cutting the story off, kind of. I
yeah.
wanted a little bit more, and sometimes I felt like they just kind of were like, nope, let's cut it off.
Mhm.
And it was a little abrupt for me.
I also think they could have introduced characters earlier in the movie to give them a little bit more development as things unfold later in the film.
Mm-hmm.
Some motivations aren't always as clear as they should be, but yeah, overall, movies like this don't really get made anymore, and for that reason, I hope more people see The Rivals of Amziah King. I
Yeah.
give it I give it a high 7 out of 10.
Yeah. Go
What would you give it?
see. I would give it probably a 7 too. Once again, I think like some of the stuff, like I'm like, how some of the stuff did they get away with some of the stuff?
Mm-hmm.
How did the villain was kind of for me in the movie, you could say. So there's just a lot of stuff that, like, not a lot of stuff, but there's just a lot of stuff towards like the end of the movie that I was kind of like, I don't know if I necessarily like that. But so that's why I would probably give it a 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on to the next one, which we saw yesterday, which we just saw it on a whim. Really, he just said, "Do you want to see it?" And I thought it looked interesting.
I didn't even
Which
know it was. I
was,
didn't even know it was releasing
yeah, which was,
this
buddy.
weekend.
Where did you hear about it?
I literally just came across it on Fandango, and I remember like 5 months ago seeing 4 months ago seeing a trailer for it.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea it was releasing. the last week of August. But
And we
yeah,
like that, like dark, what would you call it? Like where they take something that's supposed to be so lively and kind of turn it like,
kind of like it's like the corruption of like childhood iconography, right?
yeah, yeah, and you just see like a different side of it. And so going into this movie, I was not sure what I was going to expect. Like, it wasn't like NR or anything crazy. So I was like, okay. But neither is Terrifier. I don't think
The
Terrifier
first Terrifier, I believe,
is NR.
is not rated. No, they're not. They're not rated. I think they're unrated. I think all three Terrifier films and All Hallows Eve are unrated. Like as in they were not well unrated, not rated, same shit.
Yeah, it is.
I think they call it unrated
Mhm.
now, and they used to call it not rated, but
So
they didn't even go past
honestly,
the
I guess
ratings
I can
board.
say when I heard it was R, I was like, okay. Maybe we're like and it's like the tip of the iceberg, of course, but like I just was kind of just like, hopefully it's not too bad, because Terrifier really does take you through like a roller coaster. But I was also ready. I was like, okay, if it is, I'm ready for it. We get in there, it starts off as just a nice little kid show, like, I don't know, about this unicorn. Is he? Oh yeah, orange unicorn named Buddy, and he has these kids that do his every beck and call, and you can summon him by saying his name. And so the turn takes where Buddy doesn't like to be told, "Oh, I don't like doing that," or "No, I'm not going to listen to you." And so then he just decides, "Okay, well, if you're not going to listen to me, you're not going to be in this show anymore." And
It's
where it gets good, it gets good. Like at first, me and Declan were like, "Okay, where are we getting at?" Like he's just kind of a menace, and we don't know what's going on with this TV show. Like they kept playing every episode, and we were just like, "Okay, really?" But as you see this little girl named Grace, you start to like see where the story's leading to, is like she's starting to realize that something's not right with Buddy. Like her friends are going missing. They found like a bloody book, there's things going missing. It's like a mystery all of a sudden. And so you just really see Grace going through this horrific time, but like you can.
um I was not expecting it to be as good as it was, and it's not. I don't think maybe good is a stretch too far. As solid of a horror film as it
Yeah.
was, because it didn't pull punches. It was extremely gory and violent, and actually intense and scary at times, because you genuinely feel for these children. And Buddy's clearly a play on Barney, and they sing songs, and they do chores, and there's other like inanimate objects that occupy characters
Yeah, like the mailbox
in the movie.
speaks, the couch speaks, like
Mm-hmm.
it's just kiddie stuff. But I love how they also do the animatronics. I think the puppets,
Oh
the
yeah.
mascots. Like I think a little bit probably was animatronics, especially when you get to the gory parts of the mascots, and like the last scene where Buddy kind of just transforms. But I thought all that was really cool.
I
Like the
thought
set design was awesome
I thought
too.
it was pretty. Yeah, like I love that it looks like a 4:3 or it's shot in 4:3 aspect ratio to kind of simulate a television show in the 90s. And it was so like vivid, the color palette, and it honestly makes the world seem more nightmarish because it's so tactile. Like
Hmm.
you could imagine yourself, not yourself being in this place, but you can imagine like that looks like a set of a children's television show.
Hmm.
Like the amount of detail that went into the shot composition and the set design, like I think it really elevated the movie.
Yeah, if they
Uh,
worked with people, I think they would they would do amazing working with somebody, because I did think sometimes, like, since it was an hour and 43, they definitely rushed past a lot of stuff. Like once
mhm.
you get into why Grace is in that world and what these kids are dealing with, and their families kind of being like, for they just forgot them basically in this TV show, it just gets a little like plot filler esque. Like we need some plot filler. Like there's definitely some things that I'm like, huh? Like I'm kind of like a
Yeah,
little bit like confused because everything happens so fast. Like they realize everything so fast. So I'm kind of like, I wish there was a little bit more horror with that family as well because you didn't really see how they were seeing Buddy or how Buddy was really haunting the families.
Kristen Milotti, she played Sophia Falcone in the Penguin series. I do think she's. I don't want to say she's wasted in this movie because they do give her scenes on her own, establishing who she is in the context of the movie. But you'll see the movie, and without spoiling it, she's basically just a plot device to 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 give these kids a chance and maybe perhaps a chance at escaping this world they find themselves in. And I like that they don't explain Buddy or what powers Buddy or why he's doing what he's doing. That I'm fine with. I am not so much a fan of how he interacts with our world. Like I wanted more of an explanation of basically how he how, it might be in the trailer. I'm gonna slight spoiler here. How he pulls people through the TV into his reality. All that was very unclear, and he almost wipes the memories of the people who find themselves in Buddy's world or find ourselves in our world transported into Buddy's world. And I would have really liked to have seen really how that was happening. It kind of just happens and we're supposed to go along with it and assume that there might be a payoff or explanation later that never really comes. Um, like I think when it's scary and when it's intense, and I think Michael Keegan Key does a great job as Buddy, like he's genuinely scary, and I think that the child actors do a tremendous job too.
Yeah, their
They
acting was
sell the
amazing.
fear and intensity in those
Yes, yes,
scenes.
especially Grace. Like, oh, hands down,
Yeah,
she did an amazing job.
they're definitely firing on all cylinders when they need to be, but I think it's paced awkwardly. The middle of the movie is where it really shines. I think it's a bit choppy towards the end. Like things, there's a certain scene that happens. You're like, whoa, whoa, whoa! Like we're establishing all this at once. How did we get here? And then I think early on, it kind of takes a second to get the clue the audience in on
Even the
what's
emotion
happening.
was a little bit not hitting for me because
No,
I was kind of like, oh, like I don't know, it was just not really hitting because I was like, this is happening too fast. I need to establish some emotion.
yeah, they try to do an emotional payoff that doesn't really work, and the movie is ostensibly about how children's minds can be corrupted by what they're shown in media and on
Yes.
television, and that these seemingly innocent, harmless messages that are being given to them actually have more of a sinister, manipulative undertone. And I wish the movie would have explored that more because we kind of get that towards the end,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's I feel like the movie, like it almost seems like the first draft of the script. Like it needed to be expanded. Certain themes and ideas and characters needed to be expanded upon because I think the middle, like I said, the middle section I think is where it really hits its stride.
Yes.
I think the beginning could have been um,
A little more
fleshed out better,
condensed
and the
and
end
yeah.
definitely could have been fleshed out better.
Yeah.
But um, overall, like I don't mean to seem negative. I
Good
do
horror
like it. I
movie
think
though.
it's one of the
Pretty scary.
best horror movies of this. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as Backroom or
Yeah, I
Obsession,
was like,
but I
whoa.
think it's a solid number three. I
Yeah.
mean, it's better than Hokum. It's better
Yes.
than Evil Dead. It's better
Yes.
than The Mummy. It's better than
Yes.
what
We
else? What are
watched
some other
that.
crappy horror movies we've seen this year? Definitely better than all those.
Yeah, yeah. We
Definitely better than
watched
all those.
the Mummy again, Lee Cronin's Mummy, and we gave it a high score, but we watched it with my family, and we were low key like, no.
Yeah, I don't know what we were thinking the
We were
first
like,
time
yeah, it's
around.
not that
I was like, this movie
good. It's
low
not
key sucks.
that good. Like some of the writing is, and we needed to open our eyes to that, and we did. We did. We rewatched it. This is why it's always good to rewatch movies after the theater.
Obsession, Backrooms, and Buddy, all three things they have in common is they surprised me. They were all better than I thought they would be, and they're all kind of unique horror concepts.
Mm-hmm.
Like a children's TV, 90 children's TV show
Yeah,
that's like
that's
Barney,
cool.
fairly unique. Backrooms, it's not unique in the sense that it's a thing on YouTube, but it's
But it's
unique in
never
the
been a
sense
movie.
of a YouTuber making a movie based on the Backrooms. And Obsession is just completely
Yeah,
unique, like Monkey's Paw
yeah.
horror concept. So all three of them, I think, are varying degrees of just solid horror flicks, and I think they're evidence that horror is finding its way back to the mainstream and people are trying again. So
Yes.
don't
And they're
like
using practical effects, practical makeup.
yes.
Everything looks
Gore.
good.
The gore
Yes.
looks like it looks like.
Keep doing it, please.
I don't know if Terrifier ushered in like practical makeup and horror. What do you call it? Practical makeup horror effects. You know,
Yeah.
you know, and you're not doing anything through
blood, gore, yeah, all that.
like VFX. It's all just someone who had a vision of how things should look and feel and sound to the audience, and Damien Leone, and he put it on the screen. And I think that all three of the directors of Buddy, Obsession, and Backrooms had a vision. They knew what story they wanted to tell, and I think it's largely, in Buddy, largely successful.
And I think they could go somewhere with this movie because just like Terrifier started to bring it back, but the first movie was kind of like a little bit for me was a little loopy. Like I was kind of like, what's the point in this movie? Like it's so daunting and sad and just not really uplifting whatsoever. And then you get that second one, and then you're like, okay, I'm in. And then you see that third one, you're like, I'm still here. You know, I'm holding your hand. I'm still here. So I'm hoping Buddy can find its characters that they want to lock in and keep doing something with that. So
I
wouldn't
mind them going back to the Grace character, the main character of this movie, but I would also not mind it being an older girl, or maybe it's still Grace, but they recast the actress. But she did a great job, so I also wouldn't mind if they brought her back. But they would almost bring back a more like hardened version of that character and a more sinister Buddy, like a Buddy that's even more unhinged and
because he's not stopping what he's doing, and that's what we see.
Yeah.
So they really could go somewhere with it.
And honestly, I think they have a huge chance here if this movie's financially successful to expand on this world, and maybe we can learn more about the world of the Buddy show and Buddy himself, and how our world interacts with that world. So I think it raises a lot of interesting questions, and I hope it does well, because it's certainly better than that Evil Dead movie, and it's certainly better than The Mummy. And
those scripts
are
guys,
trash.
Come on,
complete trash. I don't know who said Evil Dead Burn was solid. Like,
no,
I'm not going to be elitist. If you like Evil Dead Burn, I respect your opinion. Okay?
We love Evil Dead too.
But it's derivative trash.
Yeah,
okay?
We love Evil Dead. We're
That's
not
my
even
opinion. One man's opinion.
We're not even Evil Dead haters. We really do like Evil Dead. It's just
the rainy Evil
movie.
Dead films. That's what I like.
But he is making another one, right?
He's producing the next one. What's the next one called?
Well, I don't know. He should really start getting in the paint, because these Evil Dead movies right now are trash.
Yeah,
they're nowhere really near what y'all got back then.
They
y'all
take
got
themselves
fed
too
back
seriously,
then.
and they pull from the same bag of tricks, and all the characters fucking suck. There's no one you're rooting for. Like, I almost want to see them all murdered, because there's no ash.
Everybody's bad. Everybody's just kind of bad, a bad person too. Like, you're not rooting for anybody. Like,
and there's
at
no
least
lesson
the family
to be
was a
either.
family, or at least the girl who went in the house was like trying to wean off of using drugs. Nothing like that was in this movie. It was just like shitty ass people just not being able to communicate, not being able to talk through things, and not even being able to let go of just a disgusting person. If that person was that nasty in your life, you should not even be, like, you should be like, okay, see ya, bye, pay your respects, and then see ya, bye. It should never even have been that movie. Like, I'm just like, you kind of got yourself into this. Like, I would say see ya, bye to the family. I don't need to feel like I'm guilty for anything, because you don't know what I've been through. And I paid my respects. Yeah. That movie was in itself.
I don't even remember. Like, I that movie is a complete blur.
Yeah, it was so bad.
Like, and maybe don't just throw a weak script at a director for hire and have them come in and shoot the movie. Like, maybe say, hey, does anyone got any ideas? And then they come and present them to you. This is turned into a review of Evil Dead.
Yeah, because it was bad.
Hey, that movie sucks. Don't watch it. Watch Buddy, though. Buddy, I would give 6 out of 10.
A high 6, low key, for that horror movie.
better
Oh,
than it
yeah. Okay.
better than it has any right to be.
Yeah.
Um, it kept me on my toes. I would like to see more of this world. Very imperfect, but I honestly think you could do a kick-ass sequel that
Yeah.
is a huge, like, Buddy
Sure.
already
Yeah.
solid movie, just like the first Terrifier, a sequel that is leagues better in it and like establishes the characters and it becomes a pop culture phenomenon almost.
Yeah.
But if this movie bombs, probably ain't gonna happen. So maybe go see it. It
But
deserves your
maybe
time more than a lot of
somebody
these
will try
movies.
to, I don't know, just do something with these people. Like at least the artists in this movie, like try to do something, because some of you guys using these CGI blood effects need to take hints from this movie. So, or even like prosthetics, everything.
Set design,
Yes,
even.
take
Like, there's
hints
not
from this
one
movie because
memorable.
Marvel. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Start doing stuff with a little more oomph into it instead of using all of this. Okay, start using all of
No,
this.
Marvel movies look
Stop using all of this.
like gray
Okay, we're
sludge.
getting into a rant, but all we can say is this really opened our eyes to what you can put all your blood, sweat, and tears into. It's not easy to make a bunch of practical things, but they did it with the
I
budget they
I would
had.
see 10 movies with the budget of Buddy doing something new and unique versus two giant Marvel movies
Yeah,
that you know are not going to surprise you in any way, shape, or form. They might even be good. I'm
yeah,
not saying they're all bad, but they're certainly never going to surprise you.
no,
Like most of these bigger Marvel movies, we know most of the plot before the movie even comes out. There's no
yeah,
excitement anymore. I get no joy out of seeing something where I already know beat for beat, not beat for beat, but for the larger story arc of what's going to happen. I already basically
yeah.
know. Anyway, Buddy, solid. Amziah King, even better.
Okay, so our last video got cut off where we were talking about how Amazon King and Buddy were both really good watches, and here's why. We concluded that you guys should definitely go see Buddy for its amazing art style and practicality in a way. Also, Amazon King for the heartfelt moments and things like that.
Yeah, I think both of the movies, whether you like them more than us, less than us, or relatively the same, they're both worth seeing and supporting in the theater because that's the only way Hollywood knows how to listen. If it doesn't make money, it's not getting a sequel, or they're not going to make other movies like it. Money talks. So rather than investing $100 million into one cape shit movie, maybe invest $20 million into 5 different movies
Yeah.
that are like Buddy or like Amziah King, and add something to the cinematic landscape between the Odyssey and Obsession. I think it really goes to show that people are tired of the same old trite Hollywood sludge that's been pumped out over the last few years, and we're really getting there. The movies we've gotten this year have blown 24 and 25 out of the water. I think this is a great year for film,
Yeah.
and I want to see it continue. I would not mind a sequel to Buddy. I wouldn't mind more horror films like Buddy or Obsession or Backrooms, or more like slice of life, like working class hero films like The Rivals of Amziah King. Neither one of which have been made for some time and are making a resurgence, and I hope they're here to stay. So go support both of them if you can. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.